Finals, 1TC versus MXICN. And with me, I have Summerand,
Hi.
uh, Rumsfield or Stifler,
Hey, what's up, guys?
and I'm great. Are you?
Howdy, fellas.
Yeah. So, you guys excited for this match?
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I've been uh, waiting for this one for a while, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't think I've gotten to actually stream or watch many of 1TC's matches. I think I've gotten to do one. So, to me, they're fairly new. I think I've played them one or two
Yeah,
times. But Mexican, US can has like a rivalry with those guys. We're great friends, but at the same
yeah,
time, we always love fighting each other.
yeah, absolutely. Their intermediate team is just as strong as their semi team, and 1TC has a very, very solid roster this season. So,
Yeah, for sure. They actually, I think the only time I've ever played them myself is they asked us to do a scrim with them, and they asked to play our semi-pro team.
okay,
So, obviously ITW to semi-pro is a little bit different in skill levels, and it
yeah,
didn't
you
help.
betcha.
It didn't help. We had like our top guys able to be on that night, so we kind of showed them one of the top teams in semi-pro at the end of the season, kind of what we're capable of, and gave them some pointers that I saw and stuff like that. But overall, they're a great team. You make a mistake, they're gonna punish you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And they're getting pretty excited too because they're going to be jumping up to semi next season. So they're kind of have a lot to go out on tonight.
Yeah, ending a league that you're moving up in with a win, that's a huge bonus for your players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also helps boost the confidence, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say it doesn't it gives them a bit of an ego boost to know that they can do it. Not so much to the point that they could be arrogant, but it always helps definitely having that win when moving up gives you that bit of a boost to like, we're actually a real good shot here at, throwing in the guys we got and actually putting up quite a good competition in terms of who they verse.
yeah.
So
The
just to
it would
update
definitely be a good
everything real
morale.
quick, it's going to be an 8v8.
Okay,
They just switched it up.
okay.
Have they said what map they're going to be picking first?
They haven't yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Who's picking first?
It's going to be 1TC because 1TC is top on the bracket. That's kind of
Yeah,
how all of them basically works
right,
so far.
right.
That
That
all
explains it.
these leagues have had in common is the top team on the bracket is home team.
Yep.
So 1TC is home. Mexican is visitor. So 1TC gets map pick and I believe side pick.
Hmm.
You got to give 1TC credit for having some of the best names in this league too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like I can't believe it. Like everybody else that you got like Tough 45, Turco, but then you look at 20C and you got Dr. Weenus, Blue Crabs or Flun, Herd of Mud Turtles. They got a hell of a lot of funny names here.
Uh,
Personally, that's right up my alley. Loved a bit of like comedy.
Yeah, we know you're the comedy of the streams half the time.
I'm just going to put it out there, everyone. I may pronounce people's names incorrect. I'm sorry in advance. I am Australian. There is a bit of a language barrier.
oh, we can understand you quite fine.
First map is going to be Westfield.
Ooh.
And this season the tournament's going to be in counter mode, which makes it interesting.
Yeah, I know when you played them in the scrim, they played us on Westfield, and they were telling me that this is one of their best maps right now, that they're almost undefeated on it.
Yeah, they put out my clan actually. We had a draw with them on the first map for semifinal, and they had more HP, so they won that match. And then they shellacked us by a few tanks on the next
Now,
map.
are we doing it
And
most HP this time, or is it more,
yeah, we're going
most kills?
We're going most HP.
I was going to say, we actually versed them on this in one of our matchups, and they wiped the floor with us. We didn't have an answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in regards to that, we know, I'm going to take a pretty good guess that after Westfield, after the 2 matches on this, depending on how things go, we definitely know that Mexican will fall back on their all-time favourite. I think Demon can back me up on that with old Sand River.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
pretty good.
And to be honest,
Big
Both
thing
teams.
the Mexicans team for semi-pro compared to ITW is almost identical.
It is, and I find a real big thing with Mexican, what gets them wins and what allows them to play so well is they're very patient.
They're very patient and they're very good at brawling. If you're gonna try to force a
Yeah.
brawl, they're gonna make it hurt.
Yeah, they are gonna focus fire like there's no tomorrow.
You want to make them
Yeah.
panic. That's the trick with
Yeah.
Mexican. The second you start making them panic a little bit, that's the second they're going to make mistakes. You want to force
Yeah.
Mexican to make those rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's hard to do with Mexican because they've played together for so long. They're a mixed team of CZR, Ram, and Bismarck, if I'm not mistaken. So they've all been around the block in the competitive scene for a minute.
Definitely. I'll be right back, guys. You might just not have me for this first match. 1 second.
The
There
blind pick is on, so we could just see what they're picking.
Yep.
there's just one discrepancy right now with Mexican that we're sort of sorting out at the moment.
I'm gonna guess it has to do with Cotty.
No
Yeah.
Mora. Or is it Cotty?
Cotty.
Why? What's going on with him?
He's not on the roster, apparently. I'm just looking right now. No, he's not.
I'll tell him Cotty's got to leave. He's not on the roster.
Copy that.
Yeah, like I know 1TC struggled against our Westfield play when we did the scrim, and the problem they might run into here is Mexicans played us multiple times on Westfield, and they know how we play it, and I know how Mexican plays it, and it almost, depending on how 1TC plays it, it's a huge counter to them if Mexican plays it right.
Yeah. Yeah, 1TC does really well with this, especially their light tank. Really hangs in there like a tick.
So
right to
he's
the
just
end.
going to hang out in the lobby, but he's not to be played.
Copy that.
We catch him, them trying to slip him in. It's going to be an instant DQ for that round.
Okay.
Because he's been informed and he said no problem, so.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting 1TC isn't taking any bats, though.
And see, Mexican tried pulling the same thing with AMD when we played them in semi-pro. I instantly called him out on it because I wanted a fair fight and not win by a technicality.
Yeah. Yeah, no, without having the bat chat, you'll see how 1TC reacts with it. We were very shocked as well. We were expecting, because I know they like their mediums. Like they played 3 mediums against us in one of our matches, and
So
they're
it's back down
very
to 7v7.
coherent. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion then because they've still got 8 picked for TC.
No, they got 7 picked.
Do they? No, 8.
Oh, yeah, they got 8.
Like they still have Turco, so they can still do 8v8.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not.
Yeah, okay.
Because you may as well.
Oh, there
No
he
need
goes.
to.
There it is.
There, okay.
Wow, that's a lot of
All right.
British heavies.
If you guys want to
Oof.
run down the tank selections now before we launch, go ahead. Or I could just launch it and we do it in game.
You can go ahead and launch. I normally like doing it in game.
Okay.
No, it's nice to look over and see if anybody has marks. You know, show that person off a little bit. All right. Well, over on 1TC side, we have Dr. Weenus in a Chieftain MK6, J. Kyle and Salty Killer both in Super Conquerors, Polly McDurp in a Valor, Professor Bull in the TVP T50, Mechanical Death in a Chisel. Sorry. Reaper in the T100, and Blue Crabs Are Fun in the Terran. And I just realized I don't have my sound on. When do you want to go over Mexico?
Yeah, I can do it. So we have Luis Leverman in the Chieftain Mark 6. We have the Tough 45 in the Chieftain Mark 6, as well as Turco. We have Palamat. Oh my goodness, guys, that's a hard one. Paola. Okay, sorry I screwed up, sir. We have him in the T95 FB 4201. GPS in the Batchat 25T, along with Conquer in the Batchat 25T. We have Dark Machamba in the T100 LT, and not Gatbot in the Tehran.
I know. We normally just called him Paul, I believe, in the last time we streamed them.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was a tough one. I'm gonna have to apologize to him after the game.
You should have seen me trying to pronounce some names when we streamed for the EU servers.
I think it's Paola
Yeah.
Mora.
Sure, that's good.
Sounds about right.
So we got the MMA fighter GSP over here getting over to this K0 spot for free. I don't even think they spotted him. Dark did take a little bit of damage in that initial fight, though.
Yeah, he took a little bit right off the bat there. And there's Reaper driving around in the 100, and he can definitely be a menace with that tank.
Ooh, huge shots going on to Lewis.
Big. Ooh, the Tehran just took a big shot.
Took a big shot from the Tehran.
I don't know if that was a worthwhile trade. The Chieftain getting put low compared to your Terran, that's...
Yeah.
Chieftain could be replaceable, but that Terran, you only get one.
Yeah.
Reaper's gonna have to be careful.
Same with
where
your
he's
light
sitting.
tank.
Yeah, they're gonna collapse on him.
Getting a little risky.
Ooh, shot misses though.
Taking some unnecessary risks. Mexican rotated GPS back out of that corner.
Ooh, two shots going into Reaper. Third one tracks him, and there down he goes. Great focus fire from Mexican there. That's a huge advantage to them now. Now they have all the eyes on the field.
It is.
And then they've got their Chieftain, or I guess you could call it the Valor. He's in that famous spot at E1, and that was a very troublesome spot for us to get a lot of penetrating shots on him the other day.
Yeah, but if you load up nothing but high explosives and start slapping them with it, you're going to whittle them down, or you're going to annoy them to where they're going to move and open up a vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
It looks like that might have been what's happening. Both Venus and Derp are both down at quite a bit of health.
Yeah, they literally just started switching over to their high explosives after they figured a few bounces weren't really worth it.
Yeah. Ooh, Dark's getting a little aggressive. Making that TVP over P could take quite a bit of damage, almost half his health.
And if I remember correctly, the Chieftain gets Hesh, not HE, so...
I believe you were right.
Yeah, just on the Chieftain, yeah.
So now 1TC is kind of on the back foot here, not having the eyes. Mex can kind of freely rotate through the mid now without really any risk.
This Batchat's going to have to be careful at
They could
Turan
actually,
starting to peek up.
yep, they're actually starting to do it. They could apply cap pressure without any high risks. Light tank just jumped in the wrong spot. He needed to come up on the hill a little bit more before he jumped on the cap. Chieftain's heading into a good spot. He needs to be one house higher though. That's the best spot, and he could still deliver shots across the way. They put 2 on cap. They're going to put 3 on cap with this light tank here, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Turan up top is going to need some eyes so he can actually start hitting some stuff.
Ooh, the Turan got a huge hit on Salty Killer. Does take a shot back though. Here comes a push from 1TC's TVP onto the bats and the Turan from MXICN.
Oh, massive hit, 1401.
TC's doing a good job trying to collapse on these guys. It's just exactly, MXICN has a huge crossfire going here.
Very well played by MXICN.
Blue crabs are fun. Does take out Turco though.
Yes, 1TC's down, but they're not out of the fight yet. They could still possibly pull this out. Here comes a push with the Tron and 2 Batchats onto their Tron.
Ooh, and Gabo takes a hit.
MXICN's going to lose their Tron. Maybe.
They're starting to push Paul quite a bit here.
Professor Bull's going to go down to Mech Dark right here. Yeah, Paul's putting in some work even fighting these 2 heavies. One of them's pretty low, to under 1,000 now.
1TC won the top fight, so now they can go and help their guys out in the mid.
Unfortunately, it was just a little too slow. They got nobody left. It's just those 2 heavies now. And you're fighting 1 tank that's got the same camo and vision as you, and 3 that are going to outspot you.
Two of them are one-shots, though.
Yeah, that is true. Both Conqueror and Gabo are both one-shot, but knowing MXICN, they're just going to keep them back in a supporting position.
They're just going to apply cap pressure.
And having
use the tanks in the back to snipe across.
Yeah, having the tough and his almost fully health chieftain M6 doesn't really help as either. So
now, and where they're sitting, they're gonna have to come completely into open to at least 1 person to be able to even.
And they're going to get farmed by 3 different tanks in a 5-way crossfire. 4-way crossfire, basically. There's 1.
There it is.
2, 3, 4.
4.
Bounce 5.
5. That's out.
And Derp already taking shots. Looks like Dark wants to put in the work himself.
Dark's going to risk blowing the Valor with his light tank, and he's going to win.
We lost this one, but
Tough man to finish it out.
Yeah, that was actually a really tight first round.
Alright, over on 1TC side, you have Blue Crabs are fun and the Terran. 2 kills, 4,748 damage, 307 assists. Professor Bull in the TVP T50-51 with 1,840 damage and 3,479 assisted. Paulie in the Valor with 1 kill, 1,809 damage, and 409 assisted. Mechanical Death in the Chisel with 1722 damage. J-Cal in the Super Conqueror with 1,227 damage and 595 assist. Dr. Weenus in the Chieftain MK6 with 665 damage. Reet Reaper in the T100 with 611 damage and 341 spotting. And Salt Killer dropping no damage with 50 assisted in that Super Conqueror. When do you want to do MXICN?
You can go ahead, great.
I already had to jump back in and swap around the teams real quick and fix the settings.
Okay, I'll go through. So Conquer with the Batchat 25T with 5293 whopping damage. Not Gabo with 3867 in the Tehran. GPS with 1949 damage. The Tough with 1696 in his Chieftain. Turco with 1249 in his Chieftain. Dark Machamba and 1225 damage and 2219 assisted. Powell with 692 damage. And Lewis with 429 in his Chieftain.
And see, Turco, for instance, having 3,000 assisted there, over half of that was from tracks. He knew what his job was. He knew the angles. He knew he just had to get somebody stopped.
Absolutely.
Great playing from MXICN there.
Yeah, it comes back to their famous just sitting tight, just letting the play out.
Ooh, 1TC slightly changing up their lineup though. Now, what do you guys think of that lineup, not picking a light tank on Westfield?
It all depends how you've got your medium set up that's going to be taking its place. I know some mediums have just outrageous spotting, but it just seems like those light tanks, they just have the speed and the durability, and especially if you get into like a 100 where you're so low to the ground that it's a lot harder to hit you than if you were playing a medium. So it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I know.
It also depends on how you play it out too.
That is true. It's just
because I know on my proc strat for multi-base assault for my defense, I don't run a light tank. If you position your tanks just properly and using their spotting right and their view range just in the right spots, and you range the map, then you don't need a light tank per se.
Yeah, like
it's all about crossfires and rotations at that point.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Westfield's kind of a bigger map. It's a lot of wide open areas. Having that light tank's a huge advantage. Granted,
it is
very much so.
And they're also running a 63 on top of it with 2 bat chats. So this could turn out very bad for 1TC, or it's going to work in their favor. Like Rumsfeld said, is 1TC's got a unique way of playing Westfield.
Yeah, I think every team has their slight variation of Westfield. I know, like MXICN, we're famous for that EBR on Westfield.
Absolutely, you guys are. I'm actually very shocked 1TC didn't go with the CS63. That's actually what they used against us, and it worked very well for them.
Yeah,
or even a light tank with it.
Yeah,
they didn't. Yeah.
That's my one issue with 1TC's lineup here. You have a Terran, but you really don't have any tanks that are gonna have that. Like the Chisel is decent, but its camo's not good. The TVP, I don't really think it has that great a spotting range. You kind of have that Terran, and he's only gonna be able to spot once you get into a brawl.
Yeah.
The Terran almost can spot for himself, but then again, he needs that extra support because he's very lightly armored.
Yeah. Alright, over on 1TC side, we have Dr. Weenus, J-Cal, and Salty Killer, all in Chieftain MK6. Blue Crabs are fun and machine for Professor Bull back in the TVP, Mechanical Death and Pauly Derp in Chisels, and Reaper in the Terran this time.
On Mexican side, we have Lewis and the Tough in their Chieftain Mark 6s. We have Paul in the T95 FV4201. We have GPS and Conquer in their Batchat 25Ts. We have Turco in his CS63. Dark Machamba in the T100 LT as per usual. And not Gabo in the Turan again.
Ooh, and this could go badly for 1TC. Oh, the Terran doesn't look like he's going to be up there in time, but they are going to start taking shots early.
Yeah. Very aggressive push by 1TC around that left side.
Yeah, having that machine, the problem is he just ran into it.
Yeah.
They do take out GPS there. Crabs goes down to Conquer.
Ooh, another one down. It's a thing with Mexican, you start getting into a focus fire match and they are very good at it.
And it kind of worked in their favor. The Terran spawned really far in the back, so he wasn't able to get those initial shots. But when that machine, the guy you wanted that Terran for, pushed up, that he was ready. He wasn't spotted until then.
They didn't have enough single shots to cover the auto. If they had ran that other chisel over there with the two auto loaders and the other chisel, it'd have turned out different for 1TC.
Yeah, they didn't have that rear support.
Reaper in here, a bit of trouble with the CS63 Batchat and T100 LT getting ready to push him.
Dr. Weenus wins the fight to Tough, but immediately gets taken down to the Terran. Salty fighting. Salty's not quite able to land that finishing shot. There it is. Here comes Lewis to try to help out in this fight. He's got support. He knows it.
Oh.
And Pauly comes
misses
in full
the shot.
Oof.
Immediately 1 versus 5 situation. Gabo hitting a huge shot on Pauly there.
Wow.
Rand, you want to go over one? You want to go over one?
Yep, I can go over. I'll go over Mexican. Chorko in the CS63, 2 kills, 3,511 damage with 131 assisted. Lewis Lever in the Chieftain Mark 6, 1 kill, 3,069 damage with 1,383 assisted. Not Gabo in the Taran with 1 kill, 2,857 damage with 368 assisted. Conquer in the Batchat with 3 kills, 1,660 damage with 871 assisted. Paolamor, how do you say his name? Sorry, in the Paul, okay. In the T95 FV4201, 1 kill, 1,642 damage with 816 assisted. The Tough in the Chieftain Mark 6 with 1,604 damage with 368 assisted. GPS in the Batchat with 1,228 damage with 491 assisted. And finally, Dark MacBam in the T100 T100 LT with 979 damage with 922 assisted.
And on 1TC side, we had Reaper in the Terran with 2,883 damage, 510 assisted. Salty Killer in the Chieftain MK6 with 1 kill, 1,786 damage, 702 assisted. Pauly McDerp in the Chisel with 1 kill, 1,773 damage. Blue Crabs are Front in the Machine with 1,562 damage. Mechanical Death in the Chisel with 1,520 damage. Professor Bull in the TVP with 1 kill, 573 damage. J. Cal in the Chieftain MK6 with 416 damage, of 25 assisted. And Dr. Weenus in the Chieftain MK6 with 407 damage and 832 assisted. I do want to point out both those Terrans made every one of their shots count, hitting 4 for 4 and 3 for 4.
Yeah. I still think the 1TC's location with the Turan and the spawn there, that kind of set them back a little bit.
Possibly.
Going to Ghost Town.
Oof. It's been a while since I've seen this.
It's a very interesting pick.
And immediately we see a Mobat get picked.
Oh,
Oh, we're going
change
to
that
Coldwar
to-
now. This will be interesting.
Yeah, we're
gotta
swapping whole modes.
How'd
gotta
we go on
change
the
that to
first
World
one?
War II.
How'd we go on the first one?
MXICN won the first
Wargaming,
one.
if
The
you're
tight
watching the
game.
stream, please fix
nice.
that.
Yes.
I'm surprised it changed anything. I know Proc right now is broken. If you change any settings at all, it resets everything. I didn't know Westfield was, though.
It's been like that all night.
Huh.
You go to make it private, it resets the whole damn thing for some reason. It irritates
Yeah.
the heck out of me.
Yeah, it allows
Love
you
that.
to auto swap the teams, but still likes to have the glitches when you're trying to set the room to private.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know
Very much so.
when they did that update, they said that fixed all the stuff where like settings were randomly changed. I was setting up a room versus another team, and I changed the map. Everything was set up, picked my tank, and it reset everything. I was like, what? So I reset it all back up,
Yeah.
picked my tank again, and it reset it again. I was like, so I can't play?
Yeah, I still am in the habit of individually switching over each person individually because I don't trust that it's not going to glitch out on me and change from World War II to Cold War, so I still do everything old school.
I have never had any issues with the full team swap.
Oh, rub it in. Okay. I'm curious to see what tanks are going to get picked here. I know
We
a
got
lot of
Type 5
clans
already
like to
coming
go.
up.
Yeah, I know a lot of clans like to
Mhm.
usually run 2 Type 5 heavies, or a lot of autoloaders, I've noticed as
Mm.
well.
Blue team is the defending team, isn't it, or is it
Correct.
red team on
It
this
is
map?
blue team.
Yeah, blue
Yeah.
team.
It's always
Well,
blue.
it's in counter, so it's being ran a little differently than what NBA would. But yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
typically
So-
blue team would be defending.
If I'm correct, we have A flag at the top of the map and B flag being
This
in the
is in
center.
counter, Rand. There's only one
No,
base, and
in
it's in the center.
counter, the
Oh, one.
Yeah.
That's
cap's
right.
going to
Yeah.
be right there where Bravo cap would be on multi-base in this town
Yeah.
square.
I always get muddled up between them.
I'm not gonna lie, call me selfish, but I was actually really hoping that it would go to port team destruction on the 5th game. But who knows what
Hey.
can happen in these next 2 games?
Port team
Yeah,
destruction
definitely.
would be interesting to see, to be honest.
Yes, I was very. That's why I was excited to announce that as the tiebreaker.
Man, you missed a hell of a set between USCAN versus LGC. At the time, we were both fighting for top. We went to overtime. It was a 2v2 at the end. Me and Super Bunno versus their 2 best players. Bunno hits the guy. I hit him in low roll, so he has 12 health left. Their other
Oh.
dude overpeaked, so I turn and shoot him and low roll him again to 30 health, and then I died and Bunno died. And I was like, are you kidding
Oh
me?
my goodness! What a way to go out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hell of a match.
As they say, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Absolutely.
See, I'm not surprised seeing MXICN not pick up Type 5s. A lot of teams are realizing that a Super Conqueror can pen right through the cheeks of a Type 5 with ease.
Yep. Yep.
So it almost
So
makes
I-
picking
Yes,
a Type
but-
5 a deficit.
If you run heat against the Super Conqueror, you're not going to do anything to it. But if you turn around and run high explosives
Oh, yeah.
with that Super Conk, you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to be pinning him for 500-600 damage a shot.
Mm,
Super Conk's not
Yeah.
going to want to trade with the Type 5 if he's losing 600 versus 400.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. We've been picking up me playing Badger recently because there's a few angles that you're able to sit with a Badger where you can hold down an entire one of those roads entirely by yourself.
Yeah,
I did it
yeah,
versus
you can.
I don't remember who we were playing, but they had 2 Type 5s peeking me, and I was just out brawling both of them, even them shooting HE. I was just doing more damage, and I was like, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah. Actually, a very surprising one that we used for one of our matches in the playoff this year was the Object 263.
Oh, I
And
love
Yeah,
that
right.
tank.
That's interesting.
yeah,
Looks like it.
I put out about 6K damage, and I honestly I
Wait for
like the
one
spot
more
they put me in.
pick for 1TC from Mexican.
The
I'm
only
very
Waiting for
intrigued with the
one TC to pick one more tank.
Yeah.
Very intrigued with the Panzer 7 because it should be interesting using that tank. I mean, most of Mexicans' picks will, with premium rounds will easily go through
Yeah.
its turret. Which
Actually, that's one TC used 2 Panzer 7s against us on Cliff the other night.
The machines are going to struggle pinning that Panzer 7.
yes, the machines will, but in terms of your E5, IS4, Type 5 Heavy, Quillen, E100, and E4, I don't see them having any troubles going through the turret of
Yeah,
the
if I
Panzer
remember
7.
correctly, that
Yeah.
Type 5 is going to be able to HE or a heat right through that Panzer 7.
Yeah,
Yes.
it will. It will go straight through it.
And if he's running hold down, all he's got to do is slap him in the gun with the high explosive, and he's going to damage the gun, break the turret, and possibly even ammo rack him.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how they play that tank. Oh, there's the second one.
Yeah. That's what they kind of threw against us.
What's this? The second Panzer 7.
All right. All right, Rand, you want to do Mexican? I'll do 1TC.
Yes, I'll happily do Mexi. In the Quillen we have Paul. In the E100 we have not Gabo. In the Type 5 we have Torco. In the first machine we have the Tough. In the second machine we have Conqueror. In the E5 we have Lewis. In the IS4 we have Dark McBamba. And in the E4 we have GPS.
And on 1TC side, we have Salty Killer in the PZ-111QL, Dr. Weenus and Paulie McDerp in the PZ-7. I'm not even going to attempt to say that. Blue Crabs Are Fun in the Type 5, Mechanical Death in the 60TP, J-Cal in the T-57 Heavy, Professor Bull in the Object 705A, and Reet Reaper in the E4. To be honest, that Object 705A is a tank I think a lot of people have been sleeping on. I've been loving running that tank too.
Yes, I agree with that big time. I saw a lot less of them this season compared to last season, to be honest, too.
Well, like, I don't know
And
if... Oh, go for it.
And seeing the 60 TP more, actually. A lot more this season than I've ever seen before.
Yeah, our team has a guy, he plays sometimes, but, you know, a few people have called him the 60 TP god at this point. We watched 2v1 people in that thing alone.
Wow.
It's probably not a bad pick to have for a heavy tank. I mean,
it's a
in the-
secondary TD. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically getting the E4. Realistically, I mean, they're a little bit different in stats,
Ooh,
but
Mechanical Death already down half his health. Ooh, but GPS takes a huge shot. Oh, great back for great good ammo rack.
Not sure if Mechanical got out of position or whatnot there. He seemed like he was on his own for a bit.
Mike, we've been taking a shot there.
Huge shot coming in from the E4 onto the QL. Some straight brawling here. Mexican, they got good crossfires though. Tough takes 2 huge shots, almost half health now. But yeah, like that Object 705A, I realized when we were playing against a team that with its heat, it pens right through the upper plate of Chieftains and IS-7s.
Oh, 1TC
just
looks like they're
starting to
trying to
move
make a push on these guys.
And immediately
Gotta be careful.
health.
Feeling taking some big damage there.
Mexican's doing
Yeah, but the 705 Alpha's got a lot of flaws in itself.
Yeah, like it has its scenarios where it's very bad and other scenarios where it does really well. Mexican's doing a pretty good job keeping that E4 hidden behind that Type 5 so he can take a shot after everybody's shot. He does take a shot to the Type 5 though.
Oof.
Sitting that's where it could hold down or
One TC just
side
starting trying to
scrape.
apply the pressure here from behind.
Yeah,
Machine getting a couple side
it'll
shots.
be a good tank.
The Machine taking out Dr. Weenus and then completely flipping into the QL.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It looks like J-Cow went down. Mexican's got this 4-man platoon, and Turco's been running this Type 5, making everything difficult for him.
Ooh, the E4 puts a big one into the E100.
E4 now moving in for the kill shot on Professor Ball.
Here's the problem. Turco's still got a lot of health for them to try to dwindle, and now they're going to have these machines coming in. Ooh, PZ7 gets caught on fire. There's multiple cross shots. Tough in the other machine trying to get up behind, just start clipping people out.
GPS now moving in for the kill on Professor Ball. Does he know he's reloaded? GPS gets Professor Ball there.
Down to the 57, and it gets ammo racked.
That was a double ammo rack. It got damaged and then it hit again and popped.
Yeah.
All right, Rand, you want to do Mexican?
Yep, sure. Okay, on Mexican side, we have GPS in the E4 with 1 kill, 4,390 damage with 511 assisted. Lewis in the E5 with 3 kills, 3,514 damage. Turco in the Type 5 Heavy with 1 kill, 3,073 damage. Conquer in the first machine with 3 kills, 2,906 damage. The Tough in the second machine with 1,928 damage. Not Gabbo in the E100 with 1,790 damage. Dark McBam in the IS4 with 1,699 damage. And poor Paulo on the bottom with 0 damage, unfortunately.
And on 1TC side, we have Reet Reaper in the E4 with 2,487 damage and 99 assists, the only assist on his team. J-Cow in the T57 Heavy with 2,335 damage. Paulie McDerp in the PZ7 with 1,775 damage. Blue Crabs Are Fun in the Type 5 with 1633 damage. Dr. Weenus in the PZ7 with 1618 damage. Salt Killer in the WZ111 QL with 1,181 damage. Professor Bull in the 705A with 558 damage. And Mechanical Death in that 60, not being able to pull any.
And with that, Mexican wins the ITW tournament. They are the season-ending champs. 1TC ending as the regular season champs, and Mexican winning the tournament.
Way to go, Mexican and 1TC. Both these teams doing excellent this season.
And it was a really bright spot for Mexican, actually, because this was their first full season in ITW. And yeah, they've done very well for themselves.
Yeah, Mexican, they've been growing by leaps and bounds lately.
Yeah.
But it's
1TC also doing well there. Unfortunately, just pulling up short, but I'm sure they can take a lot from this. I mean, they also did quite a fantastic well. They were able to bleed Mexican a fair bit, but it's just that experience that come down to the end of it with the result we've seen.
Yeah, like we can't wait to see what happens next year. But all right,
Yeah, it's going to be a big thing next year. Looking to add some more teams, and hopefully we can get Mexican playing a bit more than they did this season, just with being in a few different servers and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and with that, I'm going to end the stream, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll probably have another one here soon.